Trends likely happen almost every year throughout history that have such big effects towards the future. Given examples that everyone are still fun to do today are sports. Let's talk about the popular and trendy sports from the 1950s until 2010, shall we? Let's go! From the 1950, Polo. Polo is a game played on horseback between two teams of 4 players, each who use mallets with long flexible handles to drive a wooden ball down a grass field and between 2 goalposts. It is the oldest among all equestrian sports. Polo is played on an outdoor grass field with 300 yards long by 160 yards wide. 1960. Boxing. Boxing is a combat sport in which 2 people, usually wearing protective gloves and other protective equipment such as hand wraps and mouth guards, throw punches at each other for a predetermined amount of time in a boxing ring. Amateur boxing is both an Olympic and Commonwealth Games sports, and it is a standard fixture in most international games. It also has its own world championships. Boxing is overseen by a referee over a series of 1 to 3 minutes intervals called rounds. 1970. Baseball. Baseball is a bat and ball game played between 2 opposing teams who take turns batting and fielding. The game proceeds when a player on the fielding team, called the pitcher, throws a ball with a player on the batting team tries to hit with a bat. The objective of the offensive team is to hit the ball into the field of play, allowing its players to run the bases, having them advance counterclockwise around 4 bases to score what are called runs. The objective of the defensive team is to prevent batters from becoming runners and to prevent runners advance around the bases. A run is scored when a runner legally advances around the bases in order and touches home plate. The team that scores the most runs by the end of the game is the winner. 1980. Tennis. Tennis is a racket sport that can be played individually against a single opponent, which is called singles, or between 2 teams of 2 players each, called doubles. Each player uses a tennis racket that is strung with a cord to strike a hollow rubber ball covered with felt over around a net and into the opponent's court. The object of the game is to maneuver the ball in such a way that the opponent is not able to play a valid return. The player who is unable to return the ball will not gain a point, while the opposite player will. Tennis is an Olympic sport that is played at all levels of society and at all ages. The sport can be played by anyone who can hold a racket, including wheelchair users. 1990. Basketball. Basketball, colloquially referred to as hoops, is a team sport in which 2 teams, most commonly of 5 players each, opposing one another on a rectangular court, compete with the primary objective of shooting a basketball, approximately 9.4 inches or 24 centimeters in diameter, through the defender's hoop. A basket 18 inches or 4 to 6 centimeters in diameter mounted 10 feet high to a backboard at each end of the court, while preventing the opposing team from shooting through their own hoop. A field goal is worth 2 points, unless made from behind the 3-point line when it's worth 3 after a foul. Time play stops and the player fouled or designated to shoot a technical foul is given one. In the year 2000. Football. Football, also called association football or soccer, game in which 2 teams of 11 players, using any part of their bodies except their hands and arms, try to maneuver the ball into the opposing team's goal. Only the goalkeeper is permitted to handle the ball and may do so only within the penalty area surrounding the goal. The team that scores more goals wins. Football is the world's most popular ball game in numbers of participants and spectators. Last but not the least, on 2010, rugby union or, as well again, football. Rugby, football game played with an oval ball by 2 teams of 15 players in rugby union play or 13 players in rugby league play. Both rugby union and rugby league have their origins in the style of football played at rugby school in England. According to the sports lore, in 1823, William Webb Ellis, a pupil at rugby school, defied the conventions of the day, and the ball may only be kicked forward to pick up the ball and run with it in a game, thus creating the distinct handling game of rugby football. This historical basis of the game was all established by the early 19th. If you like my video, please give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more information like this. Thank you so much for watching my video. Bye!